Today I'm going to show you how I use Replit, a platform that lets anyone build apps without coding to turn an idea into a fully functional internal tool. We'll build something that a team can actually use, which can either replace a subscription or automate a workflow. By the end of this video, you'll see how you can take any business problem and turn it into a full production app with no coding required. So the app I'm building today is a team email signature generator. If your team uses Gmail or Outlook, you know the struggle. It's really hard to get email signatures to look good across every device. You also might want to update them pretty regularly. If you have an ongoing sale or promotion or upcoming event, you might want to add that to your email signature, but it's such a hassle to change it unless you have a tool that you can consistently update and share with your entire team. So that's what we're going to be building today. Now here's an example of a tool on the web, and this is what we're going to base our inspiration off of for the app that we're creating, but it's not custom or tailored to your actual business. So if you were to distribute this with your team, they might use different fonts, they might not put all of the social handles correctly as you want them to. A lot of issues can come up. Also, you have to pay for the team plan for Ystamp. So the idea behind the internal tool we're creating is that you won't have to pay any recurring ongoing subscription fees just for this internal tool. Okay, so before I start building in Replit, I want to make sure that I map out my key features for my MVP, which is my minimum viable product, basically the bare minimum that your app should be. You can always add on additional features later. I see a lot of people making the mistake of wanting so many features at once and then maybe running into a few issues by trying to basically bite off more than they can chew at the beginning. So start with just your essentials. So my bare minimum right now is to have a signature generator app that has name, title, and company logo, social media links, a place for an optional marketing or promotional message, and then the ability to copy and export easily into Gmail or Outlook. Keep in mind, you can always add additional features later. Once you've mapped out all of your key features for your MVP version of your app, I recommend copying them onto your clipboard and going into your favorite AI tool, whether that's ChatGPT or Claude or something else, and asking it to create you a prompt for Replit. So I did that, and this is what it came up with. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy that to my clipboard, and then we'll go into Replit and start building. Here we are in Replit, so let's go ahead and just paste this in and press Start Building. So immediately it's going to start planning what it's going to do to build our app. So let's watch it work. Before it starts actually building, it's going to have us approve that plan, which is great so that we are on the same page. Okay. It says the initial version is going to be a professional email signature generator with real-time preview, logo upload, and cross-client HTML output. Let's click show more features, and you can actually see it building the visual preview on the right, which so far so good. And then if I toggle, it says what's going to happen later. The agent can work on these tasks after the initial version, which is add team management for bulk signature generation, implement A/B testing for promotional banners, and add integration with email clients via APIs. That's actually incredible because, of course, none of my initial prompt said that, but it is thinking ahead for me, which is amazing. These are all features I definitely want to implement. So it's pretty impressive what it is capable of. Okay, so definitely review your plan in depth, but so far this looks good for me. And so I'm going to go ahead and approve the plan. And you can actually get notified when your app is ready if you install the Replit app. So it's going to be working in the background. So we'll come back to it later when we can see our first prototype. You can see it's actually coding for us. Okay, so that took Replit 7 minutes. Now we have a full preview to test. So it's showing what it's created, and it says it's ready for testing. How does it look and feel? Are you able to use the form fields and see the live preview update? I filled out this form with some real and mock data so that we can test whether or not it's going to work. And I do see in the live preview there that it has everything that I entered in, which is great. One thing I did notice that I'm going to correct is this drag and drop for the company logo is a little weird. So one thing I'm going to do is just tell the agent and say the drag and drop zone for the company logo is not formatted correctly because there is a big blue bar underneath the drag and drop zone. Can you please fix the formatting? Okay, so I said that. And by the way, I'm using a voice to text keyboard shortcut. It's called Whisperflow and I love it. I'm going to leave it linked below in case you want to use it too. But instead of typing all the time, I love to just do voice to text. That way I can just brain dump and there's a lot less friction. Okay, great. So it already sees the issue and, as I was talking right now, it fixed that issue. So anytime I create any app, I always want to continue to test and refine because it's not going to be perfect from the start. So you have to give it feedback and it will iterate and it will correct itself. So that's what we're going through the process of doing right now. I also want to change this, which I didn't realize earlier, but I want to hard code the company logo so that it persists across this app every single time someone from the team opens it. I don't want them to have to upload the company logo. So I'm actually going to add in an attachment, which is the logo that I want to use. So I'll just drag that into the chat and I'll say, instead of asking the user to upload the company logo every time, use this one to persist across all sessions. Great. So now I have my Woman Building with AI, which is my company logo, across this generator. The Replit agent did give me a tip over here in the chat and it said, consider adding a database. And this is definitely something I want because I want data persistence, meaning when any user uses this app, I don't want it to forget the information. I want it to save their information. So I'm going to ask, create a database for this app so users can log in. So this is the nice part about Replit, which is you don't have to worry about integrating any external third-party apps. If you've heard of Supabase, for example, that is a third-party external database that people often use when vibe coding. But this Replit agent takes care of all of that for you. So it's setting up a database for us, and then it's also setting up authentication, meaning users can log in and log out. I think this is one of the aspects that make Replit really, really user-friendly for non-technical people like myself. So as you can see here, this is what our current preview looks like for the app. And if I press get started, it will take us to this testing page for authentication. So I can now log in. It opened up a new window. Okay, so I'm going to click allow. And now I can see the new layout, this is a temporary development preview. So before this is actually live, I have to deploy my app, but this is pretty great. If I wanted to save a signature that I create, I'm going to fill out this form really quickly so you can see what that looks like. Okay, I just filled out the form with some mock data and I'm going to press save signature. And down below, I get a toast notification that says success, signature saved successfully. And I can see it here on the left. It shows my saved signature. And you can see at the top, I'm logged in as Meg, as I should be. And I could even log out. And I can even create a new signature. Now, what's cool about this is anytime I want to store a promotional banner, maybe I'm the marketing manager of this company, I can prompt this app to create a promotional banner that persists across this entire app. That way everyone can come in here, see the new promotional banner and save and download their signature and use that HTML in their email signatures. So that is great. That means that I just need to send out the link and a company-wide message every single time we want the company employees to update their email signature. Okay, I can tinker with this app for a long time, but for the purposes of this tutorial, now that we've at least reached production readiness with authentication, a database. So we have login, logout, and we have the ability to save signatures. And now you can see how you can just chat with the chat if you want to create any changes to the actual signature. So now this is where I could come in and add in different calls to action that I want for the signature. For example, if I want to have a booking link for booking calendar time, we can just ask the chat to do that and ask the agent, and it will execute that for us. So I do want to just show you that you can deploy the app, meaning make it accessible to other members in your team by pressing deploy. And here I'm going to say approve and configure build settings. And this is our primary domain. I'm just going to call it email signature generator. That's already in use. So I'm going to say WBAI, which is my acronym for the company that I founded, Women Building with AI. And then I'm going to, you could make it a private deployment so that it's not accessible across the web if you want to keep it strictly an internal tool. In my case, I'm just going to publish this as is and deploy as is. You can see these are all the secrets that you're going to want to keep secret. And here I'm just going to press deploy. And as you can see, it's building it out for production, and it's going to be deployed and hosted by Replit. Okay, I'm already thinking about the next steps for how I'm going to continue to refine this app. But over here in the chat, it is going to give some suggestions on what it should do next. So it's giving some ideas like implement A/B testing for promotional banners. And if you like any of these, you can just click them and it'll start running the agent to build out those different features. So we have our app officially deployed, so I can see it at this domain and I can go ahead and log in. So there you have it. We just created an internal tool from idea to production ready app, all without coding. I challenge you to go and try to tackle your own problem by following the same framework where you lay out the problem, identify your key features, create a prompt for Replit, and then use Replit's AI agent to build it all out for you. And again, as we did, troubleshoot, test, and iterate with the agent, and then continue to refine and add on features. As you can see, Replit was able to handle our requests and then also create a database for us, authentication, and create a secure deployment environment so that we can now share that link with our team so that they can use this app as well. And I can always go back into that app and make changes, and then that link will be live as long as I deploy or publish that app to the same URL. This method works for so many different internal tools that can be useful across your company. And if you have subscription fatigue like myself and a lot of the clients that I work with, then this is a very, very good method for someone on your team or at your company to spearhead and start creating these internal apps for your business.